You are arguably a Super League veteran and you've had an idyllic career with 11 caps for both England and Ireland in international games. You're, I'm sure, somebody that the boys all look up to. But today we really want to find out about who Richie Myler is. So tell me a little bit about growing up as Nesthead.
Oh God, no. She definitely spoke to my mum then. Like I say, I grew up in Widnes, massive rugby town, massive heritage. Like all my family played rugby, so my granddad's brother played captain Great Britain, so it was always destined for me to play rugby. I think that's what I wasn't very good at school, and I never really applied myself that way. So my focus was to play rugby, and fortunately I've been able to do that since I was 16, 17 professionally, and yeah, it's been a long haul journey.
We're definitely going to have to get into that because, as you say, I have been speaking to a few people who know you really, really well, and the passion has always been there throughout for rugby. And I know that in school you're maybe more kind of better at making the teacher's cup of tea than actually doing your homework and things like that.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't. I wasn't the most academic student, but I loved PE and I loved rugby. And that's all I wanted to do. I think since I was, like I say, since 4 or 5, that's what my goal was, to play rugby. And like I say, I had some parents that took me to every single game, and I've been able to forge a career out of it.
What a career it's been, and we're still going with it. But let's just jump back a little bit. So you mentioned you love the PE in school, and you've got some PE teachers, Steve Burke and Phil Bolton, I believe, who were quite influential in sort of your love for sport and so on. Tell me a little bit about these guys.
I think they just they played a major part in the way I played rugby, and they were supportive. I think they came to my first ever professional game as well, which was massive, and they've been massive supporters throughout my whole career, and they've always reached out to me and messaged. And no, it's nice, really. I'm from a school that's produced quite a lot of rugby league, Super League players. I think 3 of us played in the 2022 Super League Grand Final. So it's a school that's pushed a lot of rugby. Obviously, been in a big rugby town, so no, I'm fortunate to those guys to set me off on my path to play rugby.
Talk to me a little bit about Widnes and your coach, Roger Harrison.
Yeah, Roger was, again, like I said, another huge influence on me as a rugby player, and he was the head coach of the town team under 11s. Him and John Foran were the 2 people that steered that ship, and no, they were very influential on my time and took us all over, really, and had a massive impact on the way I conducted myself on a rugby field and prep for games and all sorts. I think even at an early age of 10, 11, he had a massive influence on me.
I understand that you ended up moving to Worcester at one point, but you just loved Widnes so much that you'd go back and your mum would take you in the car. Tell me a little bit about that.
My dad ended up playing for Worcester Rugby Union. He went from Oldham Burrs to Worcester. I would have been about 8 maybe at the time. But I loved playing in my junior rugby in Widnes, so like every weekend I think I went and played rugby union a couple of times, and it just wasn't for me. I just didn't fancy it, I didn't enjoy it. So my poor mum had to drive up the M6 every Friday evening. We spent all weekend at my nan's, and then I'd play on the Sunday, and then I'd go all the way back down to Worcester. But yeah, I don't know how she did it, to be honest. I think one time she drove all the way back up and left the house keys. I don't think that was a nice drive home. I don't think they had words in that one, but no, it's just I suppose I owe a lot to them, because they didn't have to do that. Like, she could have said, no, you're staying here. But I actually think she liked to go back to Widnes as well. I don't think she liked it in Worcester.
And the dedication is just there from day dot, and you've got to go where your heart kind of tells you to go. I'm going to backtrack a little bit again. I want you to tell me a little bit about how you broke your collarbone when you were younger and how that kind of came about.
Obviously, playing a sport which is very brutal. I think I must have been about 11 or 12, maybe. I think it would have been. Can't remember. It might have been a Lancashire Yorkshire game. I'm not sure if it was. I'm only ever little anyway. I've always been one of the little ones on the field, and obviously at 11 I was even smaller. I'm playing against lads that were obviously more developed than me at the time. And yeah, I just didn't take a backward step as I've not done, and ended up getting dumped on my head. And yeah, nice broken collarbone and straight to A&E. So I think, to be fair, I always just take it as part and parcel of rugby, but I think my poor mum has had a bit of a rough ride.
I think I heard somewhere that they wasn't sure if it was a break at first, and I think you got the whole, just stick a paper towel on it, it'll be all right spiel.
I think that was a Roger Harrison. Yeah, I think that was one of his moments of, it'll be fine, you'll be fine. That was his mentality, which was a good mentality to have in the thing. So, but no, it was definitely broken.
I'm going to show you this image here. I know you're very familiar with this, but just looking at it, this is an image of your career, kind of sort of, I was going to say imagised then, that's not a word. Richie's career in summary. But when you look at this image, tell me a little bit about how it makes you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I've played at some amazing venues, I've played for some amazing teams. I've been very fortunate to have such a career where I've played an awful number of games with some very, very skillful players, and I've been able to go around the world. But like, this image alone is very, I mean, it's amazing the way that I think Steph put it all together, and along with an artist, and just to put it all down on a piece of paper, it's pretty cool. I hadn't seen it before. We'd done a couple ones for family members and stuff, and they were really nice. But to do a sport one was no, it's got everything in it. Like, there's even like trophies I've got in the house.
Yeah, should we do a little run through? If I hold it, you can talk us through your journey here. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I thought it was a theme park map. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you just go from left to right and all the way around, and we end up at the LNER. So.
Probably has had a few roller coasters as well in there as well.
It's not been an easy career. It's been very much up and down, up and down. But I suppose most people's careers are. No one really gets the fairy tale to start at the bottom and go all the way to the top. So, but no, I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. Still am loving it. I can't wait to get out there and play. That's why I put that on, because it's still not over. It's just present. So, no, I'm looking forward to it.
You're going into your 18th season, and you've well approaching 400 games as well. So these are just some serious milestones, and you must be so proud. I
am, yeah. And to be honest, it doesn't feel. I know I'm injured at the moment, but I actually feel fresher now than I did at 22, 23, because I played a lot of games then, even young, and I didn't really recover. Didn't really look after myself off the field. So being a bit more older and wiser, I think you recover, look after yourself off the field. Yeah, I think you have to get yourself out of bed. So no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm as hungry as ever I've been to play, and we've got a really young, talented squad that's got a lot of ambition and a lot of talent that just, if I can guide in any way, that's why I came here in a sense, but also just to play and enjoy playing rugby again, and that's what I wanted to do.
So is that leadership sort of the next sort of step for you now, just to take that
I think I've always done that. I was a cocky 17-year-old in a team full of like adults, and I didn't take a backward step then. I got it wrong an awful lot of the times and said the wrong things very much every day. But I've always tried to lead. I think your position that you play a leadership role anyway. I think as you get a bit older, you learn how to work with certain people in different ways, and what buttons certain people need to be pressed and what they don't need, and how to interact with people differently. I think that's a big thing, and I've learned as I've got older not to ride the wave of highs and lows as much. I think I'm much more balanced, and I just take it as a pragmatic approach to what comes next and what's my next job, and I find that gets the best rugby out of me, and I find I play the best rugby by doing that, and I have done that over the last 3 or 4 years, because I've not worried too much about the highs and the lows. I've just kind of kept quite level-headed and stayed quite neutral as well, and that's what's kind of helped, really.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited to see you take to the LNER, and we hope you have a really great 18th season with us, Richie.
Thanks
for sitting down with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.